Next up, in a movie that is actually happening, we've gotten a proper look following last week's tease at Robert Pattinson's Bat suit, with some stunt work, some leaked photos, I guess.
A lot of people are focusing on the suit. I was looking at the bike. I did not like the design of that bike. I thought it was very average.
It's kind of cute.
I like it. It's very proto Batman.
Yeah,
it looks like Adam West Batman.
It just looks like a motorbike, right? Looks like a very
I think we were a bit
motorbike.
spoiled with the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
If we do the
bike.
same thing again, everyone's going to go.
I'm not asking for the same thing, but I'm saying we were spoiled in the sense that was a very cool design.
The Batpod, yeah. I thought you were talking more generally about vehicles, and I was about to really take you to task on the Bat, which I think is the fucking worst thing he's ever had in a movie.
Was that
it Rises? The big flying
the
hunk
mosquito
of
thing.
Oh, that yeah.
polygons.
Okay, yeah. No. I just
Waspy
mean like
So
the bike specifically. I
Yeah,
thought
the
was
Batpod is
cool,
fucking awesome.
cool fucking design. So I was like, in that sense, we've been spoiled, and this seems a bit. Like, it just looks like he's bent a plate over the front and, maybe made some ears out of it.
But it's, it's how, it's not about the tool. It's about the carpenter, Connor,
What
how
are you
will
talking
the
about?
bike
What is happening?
be utilized?
Anyway, the suit. I feel like we've jumped right over here.
He has ears.
So we've finally seen the ears. That was the big question mark for me. I don't love them, but I'm willing to go. I think the suit looks cool
It's
as a
very
whole.
stitched together suit. It doesn't feel like a nice, sleek, well put together like the Christian Bale one. This looks like it's being cobbled together, looks grungy. I'm really into it, man.
I think it looks pretty sick.
It also really depends on the way they shoot it and kind of the context of this.
Completely.
Totally. And an important thing to note is this is just a stunt guy riding a bike. This is not one of the hero suits for the film. Obviously, this will be one of the ones they use to kind of beat up on set. So it's not going to look exactly like that in the movie. And of course, it's missing the cape, which I guess will be CG'd in, which always adds a lot, I think.
And do you think this is the final suit? Or do you think this is evolutionary? Because it could very well be that he sort of, even at the end of the film, kind of like a Spider-Man, he gets to the better suit. I don't know.
Well,
It
it's
looks
tough to say.
very
It's not an origin
grounded.
story, thankfully. So or not necessarily, like based on what we know so far, at least. So there's a good chance that we'll get one suit from beginning to end. I think that can sometimes be a bit of a cheap progression, like when heroes, you get this a lot with Iron Man and stuff like that. Is like he levels up, so he gets a new suit, and you kind of get the little cheer. But I don't like it when properties overuse that. I don't want that to substitute some kind of character development. So I hope they just have one suit from beginning to end. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, basing this on absolutely nothing, I never kind of entered my mind that he'd be changing from that suit. It looked like enough of a unique, kind of stark design, different than what we've had before, that it kind of felt like they're just trying to make a statement. It's like, this is the bad suit now. He does have a very bulbous head. I don't know if they'll have to shave that off with CGI or something.
Head, man. English Batman.
It's really sticking out there. But overall, I think it looks really cool. I'm curious to see what happens with the eyes, because in everything we've seen so far, it almost looks like goggles or something.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm really digging it. I think it's very
What did you think of the forearm accoutrement?
Yeah, the very sort of medieval looking.
Well, it looks like spikes or something that's attached. I didn't like the aesthetic of it. I think it'll really depend on, again, how it's shot. But just from the stills that we have, I didn't quite think that they gelled very well. They just looked like they had just kind of wrapped up some spikes on his.
I think different equals good in this instance. We're in
Batman,
the last decade. We had 2 different Batmans. How many different suits? 4 different suits.
I mean, how different can it really be? This has been my issue from day one. Is I don't really need another Batman film. I mean,
it's just we haven't had one since The Dark Knight Rises in terms of a straight Batman film. And Nolan's take already was such an untraditional take on Batman. So I think enough time has passed and there's enough room for us to be okay, let's kind of do a quintessential Batman again.
I mean, how many? What would you define as having enough time, though? I mean, for me, 6 months is enough because I can't get enough of this shit. I think that there's such a wealth of characters out there in the DC universe, and I mean, so far, at least in the last 6 or 7 years, the ones that have done the best and or at least been to my sensibilities are the ones that aren't your Supermans, not your Batmans, like the really kind of staple of DC. They've been the off like Wonder Woman or Aquaman or I mean it didn't do financially well, but I liked Birds of Prey.
Unlike every other era of Batman, though, at least right now you can say they're not just doing Batman. Because with every other
true.
time, that's all they've been doing.
Yeah. And I think this will really kind of define whether that's still relevant. Like, you know what? For me, I would have liked for them to have put the Batman away for a little while. It didn't. 3 different Batmans in the last 10 years just doesn't seem wildly necessary to me.
The Warner Brothers board knows Batman equals dollars in the bank. That's all they know.
I mean,
and Warner Brothers is just edgy enough, and a director's studio. You look how many projects they've done with Nolan over the years. They stay with their directors and they back them. And Matt Reeves has obviously got on their good side. They're saying go for it. And they're going to chuck a shitload of money at the marketing.
I think that's probably the conclusion I come to every time we talk about this, actually, which I'm just reaching again now, is I don't give a shit if it's Batman or not. It's Matt Reeves. Like, he made me like Planet of the Apes twice, which is impressive because it's not something I care about. And Batman, I have my good days and bad days with, but I'm there to watch a Matt Reeves fucking superhero movie. That's what I'm there for.
Yeah, very true.
So do you then feel as though potentially that the Matt Reeves entry into the DC universe might be a little bit wasted?
No,
like,
I think
would you rather seen him do maybe a little bit more of a unique character or a unique take on a character? Because again, you can only make Batman so different or so unique.
Yeah, I guess I was saying though, I don't think there's ever been like a really it's hard because obviously The Dark Knight is fantastic. Batman Begins is really good, but they are kind of not as superhero-y as a lot of these other movies. I don't know. I really think there's room to make a really good Batman film that pays its debts to the comics and isn't just kind of superficially like them in a lot of ways. Has supervillains and I don't know, just Batman who's able to fight and be a bit ninja-y. Because the old like Tim Burton ones and stuff, they have their merits in certain ways, but no one's going back to them nowadays being like, yeah, this is the fucking shit. Like in the superhero paradise we live in now, you're not looking at that and being like, this really scratches my Batman itch. And I do think the Nolan movies, 2 of which are great, still do leave something to be desired as well. So I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm, obviously more into this than a lot of other people. And sure, maybe there's a lot of other people who just like the way they treat Spider-Man, which is like, there's so many fucking Spider-Mans. I'm like, there's only 3, calm down. But I guess we all have our own metric for this stuff.
I think Matt Reeves also has he's got a really great sensibility in realism where he Cloverfield, Planet of the Apes, Let the One In, he plays with the supernatural and realism in a really nice way. He's not like that ultra grounded Nolan thing. He does have that Hollywood fluff in a way.
Well, he made Talking Apes work,
He balances it out where it doesn't go to the silly level and it's convincing and it's sophisticated. And it knows that it's a big production as well. I think he's just got a really good tone. Like he's in that JJ. He's from that JJ team, but he's just a little bit more emotionally sophisticated, I feel, than JJ, who sometimes just goes for the Spielberg emotion, make you feel something rather than make you think and feel something, which I think Matt Reeves does. Yeah. Pumped. I'm really pumped for this. I think I've never actually, until you said that, I hadn't thought about the suite of Batman films that we've had along the way. When you do sort of categorize them in that way, it's like, okay, yeah, there is actually room for something here when you really drill them down and kind of think about them on their own merits and angle they bring to Batman.